celibacy. I come from a strong family. Anytime I've ever seen myself as, kind of daydreaming about my life in the future, I see myself with a wife and like 10 kids, right? How can I possibly be celibate? And now that I'm a priest and I serve in a parish, it all makes sense. It all clicked. I've never felt like more of a father. I can't imagine feeling like more of a father. And the reason for that is not just something pie in the sky theoretical, right? It's a very practical reality. The people at Good Shepherd, I know there's a lot of Good Shepherd parishioners here, y'all are awesome. And you truly are, because all of you make me feel like a father to a family. I get invited for dinner at people's homes. I'm invited to go, watch, kids play sports, and you just feel, you get called to the hospital when someone's sick, and when someone's born, you're the first to know about it. You just feel like you're part of a family. And when parishioners, this is why I always kind of tell people, I know it's tough, but don't church hop. Don't church hop. As much as you can, pick your parish and embrace your priests. Love your priests, because they want to see you, right? We come to Mass excited to see you. You are our children, right? I'm excited to celebrate the liturgy, of course, but I want to see my children when I come to Mass. So as much as you can be children to priestly fathers, that's a really special thing in the life of a priest.
I have a very simple question, but you also used the term to rise again. Why do we say rise again?
Say it again, in what context?
Rise again. You used the term too, and we say, obviously, in the liturgy, rise again. Jesus rises again, and we rise again. Why do we say again?
I guess it's a bit of a redundant term. It simply just means resurrection, right? To rise from the dead. Yeah. It's just semantics, I guess.
Okay. Last question, because I got to stay on schedule.
My question to you, Father, is I've always heard that the Catholic Church is one of the most difficult religions to embrace, to understand, and especially for young people. We've got all these things to help us to grow in our faith, but how do you grasp a young person that is wandering around and sees the Catholic faith, but how do you tell them that our faith is the seed that they need?
Yeah.
Even though we have all these tools, some of the stuff is very hard to embrace. You read that Catholic catechism book and man, you're like, how do I apply that? That's really tough stuff.
Sure. Great question. I think of what Jackie was saying at the end of her talk. People wake up each day and they're confused, right? They don't know who they are. That stat that you said was unbelievable. People, however many percentage of young people don't believe there's a purpose to life. I think through our Catholic faith, we have to show people this is not just a set of rules, right? This is not just parameters by which to live, but this is your purpose. These things are what give life. They draw you in to life. And of course, again, we do that by modeling that what we profess to believe. You can't just hold up the catechism and say, here's your book, right? This is your instruction manual. You have to say, I believe that this book and the Bible and the tradition and teachings of our church hold within them all that we need to know our purpose, our meaning in life, how we can live a fruitful and joyful existence. And I don't just believe that, but I'm going to show you that I believe that by the way I live. So good Catholics are the greatest witness that there can ever be for young people. Young people are so hungry for this. I know it sounds strange. I know evangelization is like a real tall order right now, and it seems really difficult. The soil has never been more ripe for planting these seeds. People need to know their purpose in life right now, and they are open to whoever can show them something that rings true, and we know our Catholic faith is true. So if we can express it that way, I think young people will get excited about it.
Okay. Thank you, Father Zach. Ladies. thing. So, and I love when Father Zach kept referring and reminding us that our church, we refer to her as the mother, because so many times in the world today, the Catholic Church has been reduced to three things: to birth control, abortion, and gay marriage. And then they try to make it sound like it's a moralistic place to be, and it's not. It is a loving mother who wants the best for her children and wants them to be healthy and whole. So I'm going to chat for just a few minutes, and then will it be lunchtime? I've got the time boss back there. Okay. So I just wanted to give you a little bit of background about this particular women's gathering, and tell you that when I was praying about a patron saint for this conference, I was in the middle of the Interior Castle, a book written by Saint Teresa of Avila. And I had read this book before when I was getting my degree, but you know, it was one of those times where you just read it, and then you write your papers, and you take your test. And then I kind of set it next to a stack of books that I was doing that for, so that I thought, when I'm done with school, done studying theology, then I'll come back and read this. And so then I saw that I had in my shelf somewhere her autobiography. And I thought, well, I better read that before I go back to the Interior Castle. And I ended up reading it. It's kind of, my husband always asks me, why do you have 6 books on your nightstand? And it's just an ADD thing. Like, it depends on what I want to digest that day or that night. But I fell in love with her immediately. Remember when Jackie was up here earlier saying that she was sassy? She was sassy. So I was laughing out loud reading through her introduction, because she was ordered to write her autobiography, and she was doing it out of obedience. But she was letting you know all along that she was not happy, that she was having to write this. And so she speaks about her spiritual director when she says, when I asked why I have to write this, besides just being obedient, he told her, you speak the language of women. And when I read that, I thought, I knew that, Lord. Women speak a different language. And Jackie was talking about before why we have those friends that are life-giving. Those women, I can't think of anything better in the world than when I am sitting with 3 or 4 or 5 women that just want to love me. And if you don't have that, you do here. Look around you. All these sisters, all of us, the walking wounded, trying to survive, trying to be holier, trying to just live our lives as faithful girls of the Lord. And ever since then, I thought she has got to be the patron saint, so we're having it on October 15th. But this was a year ago. So when I first went to my spiritual director to talk about this, he said, you know what, let's pretend like this is, that you're going to carry a child for 9 months, and let's pray about it, and let's fast, and let's see what happens. And, I jokingly say 9 months turned into 9 years, and here we are. And Father Dennis, who is a beloved priest here at St. Elizabeth's, who is retiring, he always would tell me in the confessional, which was not very consoling at all, in the fullness of time. He would always tell me, oh, it'll happen in the fullness of time. And I thought, it never comes. And so here we are, in God's timing, which alone is enough. So I've been watching these women just showing up and getting things done. And I think Father Zach said in a radio interview we did that the women in the church just show up, and they know what they're doing, and they get it done. And I've just been amazed at watching this. But as a skinny little army brat, constantly moving and having nothing but mean girls in my life, every time, I think we moved 22 times, I counted, from 1st grade to 12th grade. And always being the new girl, which means I was a pretty good scrapper. I always knew there'd be a few fistfights before I could kind of make my place within the base. And but something beautiful happened with me, with the Lord, when he provided me a nest of women to just nurture and love me. So this vision that was just a whisper in my prayer time, and just a longing to be with other women, is the reason that we're here. And I'm really excited that I kind of targeted the Northeast Deanery for the Fort Worth Diocese. So there are 7 of the 9 parishes in our diocese here in this room. So welcome to you all. I'm very, very grateful for that. And as we go forward, what we really want to do is begin to build bridges. We are at every parish. I've been a DRE at 2 parishes. I've worked in both dioceses, Dallas and Fort Worth. And we just all, have best practices. So many parishes do some things excellently, but need work in other areas. And it's just so nice to be able to kind of build bridges and help each other and network and come together. And I feel like not only does this build up the church, but it's just beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. And I have gone to so many events across the diocese, and I hear this kind of silo talk. Like, oh, this parish thinks they're elite because of that, and that parish thinks they're elite because of that. And then I go and I experience it, and I think, gosh, they're so good at that. What if every parish had that? Then it would be like the universal church instead of loyalties to one particular parish. But like Father Zach said, wherever your home is, this is where you're called to be with your family, to build them up. And then hopefully we have this transformation across the diocese that we just start showing up and getting things done for the church. It's honoring for our priests, it's for the bishop, and for the church in general. We already have set up a pop-up conference. We hope to do it every quarter, but this year we have it scheduled already. If you want to make a note,